hair, and it was I had a hair like Eric here, and yours, and
Hey
it was
guys,
bad in Florida. So
Yeah.
Eric, hey man,
how
Hey,
are
what's
you?
going
good
on, Eric?
How
good
are
to
you
see
Hey
you.
guys?
Eric.
Good
All
to see
right,
you too.
so listen, kiddos, we got 45 minutes here. Eric, this is Maz. Maz leads our reputation management team. This is Garrett Goodenough. He's our engineering manager. Guys, meet Eric. I talked with Eric last week. I think he'd be a really good fit on rep management. I asked him to familiarize himself with Dandy in the meantime. And what I wanted to do is take this 45 minutes. I get out of the way. Maz, Eric, you guys talk. Garrett, ask some questions if you want. And then what I feel like is at the end of this 45, if everybody's cool, then what we'll do is maybe just schedule one more where it's just maybe you and Maz doing some deep dive tech on maybe our code base and where we're at, and then go from there. And that would happen relatively quickly, Eric.
All right.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna sit here and listen. Leave it up to you guys. Maz, questions? You want to
Yeah,
kick us off? Tell them what you're doing.
yeah. Hey Eric, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yep.
Yeah. So have you looked into the website getdandy.com?
Yeah, a little bit.
So what have you understand from that one?
That is a tool to remove bad reviews on the internet with AI.
Okay. Yeah, and we also have many other features in that. So maybe you do not have permission for that. Otherwise, we have many rep management features. So the main feature, the removal part, is done by automation team. So we only in rep management we work in the on the website for the all the features that are working on the website, not on the actual removal part. So, have you ever worked on Admin Bro or have an experience in Nest.js and all that?
Yeah.
Because the website is currently deployed and using Admin Bro parent functionality, but there are many modifications in that. We added the React.js and style components, and the backend is in Nest.js. So you need that
Yep.
experience in this one.
Yeah.
And I was putting this in chat in case you. Um, there we go. Yeah, there you go. That's the admin, bro.
Yeah, because if you do not much familiar, then you should learn it because it mostly depend on admin bro, and we still stuck around it because it is using everywhere.
Okay. With
You
Admin
can check
Bro,
it.
I haven't heard until now, but Nest.js I do. But I see this is
Yeah,
a tool that you can build admins. So I'm fine with
Yeah,
learning this.
mm,
pretty straightforward. Admin
yeah,
feature on top of the framework on top of the Node or Nest and
and React.js.
yeah, and React. We're
So
good.
basically, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can check it. And do you have access to our code base?
No, so Moz, has no access at all. This is really just very top level. I met with Eric for 30 minutes last week, so it's really just ask him some questions about him. Eric asked us some questions about the team, and I just full transparency.
Okay.
Is Eric somebody we want to hang out with, and if we weren't all virtual, go out for a beer with or go out and have lunch with, and it's just somebody we want on the team. We got a pretty close knit team. We're solving some really awesome problems here, and so
Okay.
yeah,
So it's a meet and greet.
basically.
So yeah, so for the team, if I say from my side in rep management, currently I'm only one working in, but in rep management, we actually work on the features that you can check on the website. So there are two more teams. One is working on the reviews automation and all the removal part, and one is working on the platform side. So they are working on the actual website handling and all of that stuff. So in our team, we mainly work on Jira board and we do have tickets. We have a product owner, Marisa, who briefly discuss all the tickets, the parent ticket, and then we divided that ticket into our board and we work on that. So have you worked on Jira and Agile methodology
Yeah, I have.
earlier? Okay, great. So in this we break down all the tickets like in a smaller chunks, 1 day or 2 day task maximum, max 3 days, and we work on that. And after every sprint, we have a 2 week sprint. So after every sprint, we have a demo. Whenever all the things are cleared, we push that to production, and then we start on other part. And if a ticket is bigger, then we only decided in past meeting we have decided that we will deploy just a small part of it, like some that can be showed to customer. So we only deploy that, and after completing all, we deploy the whole part. So this is the main part that we work like in tickets and all the meetings. We have a daily rep management. All the teams have their meeting, so they can talk with their developers and testers so what they are doing. So we do it daily basis, and on weekly basis we have a grooming meeting where we will groomed all the tickets. So Marisa gave all the descriptions and detail and briefs of all the tickets, and then we divided that to chunk. We have a weekly meeting for that. Then after 2 weeks, we have a planning meeting. We plan all the ticket what we will work in the sprint.
Yeah.
So this is the process in all the teams, not in the rep management, in all the teams in at Dandy. We follow this process.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see like we like to communicate a lot, right? And we're trying to make our processes more efficient as we move forward. So thank you, Maz, for giving that breakdown on kind of like what our current process is. So I'm curious, Eric, on like, so I know you had a conversation last week with Eric, right? So I want to know though, like, what's your experience? Like, where are you coming from? Like, just if you can just give me some insight on who you are as a person, your experience as a developer.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I have been working for professionally for software development around 3 years or more, and my experience as leader, I would say it ranges from 1 year professionally and like 2 years like outside um, my projects. I have been a mentor for many people that are learning software development for around 2 years. Um, yeah, that's like my leadership role, I would say.
Mhm.
And for software development, I have been working mostly with React for the front end, for the back end Node, and in, and I have been learning Nest.js for like the last year. But in my current work, I have been working like really intense on Nest.js. What else? Well, that's the technical background, and
Mhm.
for my personal self, for myself, I like to um, do quality work. I like to be proud of my work. Um, and also I like to play video games. I am very competitive. I like to learn the video game and just become better at it and compete. What else? I like to watch anime. I am very critical sometimes with the animation, like they do a good work, whether or not. That those kind of details. Um, I like watching movies and series, but I for my um, I like to watch a good history rather than just a lot of bullets or action or whatever. I like a good history, a good well story. That's my always make um, something that I want to watch. What else? And I guess that's it. About my values, I would say I like honesty and just try as always to be a good person rather than um, just say something like do it.
Sure.
Empathy as well. I I don't like to do something that I to someone that I don't like to be treated as. So
Mm,
empathy is a really good value. What else? Well, that comes out of my top of my head.
Nice.
sure, that's great.
There are a couple questions. I want to kind of go back over to the technical side a little bit too here. So it'll be two questions. The first one is you come into a new organization, you don't know anything, obviously. How do you professionally, like, what are the first things that you do? What do you look for? What do you need to be successful? Like, how would you, without being told what to do, how would you come in and be like, okay, I'm plugged in, let me go? Like, what are the things that you look for? What do you need?
Good question. I would say like to have the correct repositories, the correct process that you guys manage. Every organization is different. To set like what are the goals and the deadlines, and after that, I maybe I just organize myself. Well, really, at the beginning it's like learning curve, like knowing the tool or the
Yeah.
project. So figure that out as soon as possible to let know like okay, like if I can manage that deadlines if there are tight deadlines. So I would say that would be the first, and understand the tickets up from the um, backlog and get to work. That's it.
Who are some of the people that you like to go to in the organization to, like, talk, find out, like, kind of where the issues are, where the successes have been, where the maybe the problems have been?
Well, the if there's a tech lead or if there's a project manager, those are the more organizational stuff, and then the technical stuff I would say with the other developer, or if there's no one, go to the documentation. Well, maybe first go to the documentation first, then the developers.
Mm, okay, awesome. Um, so we talked about it a little bit with Admin Bro. So it is relatively straightforward, and the documentation is pretty robust, but it is relatively heavy. And in the past, we do run into complications of like, hey, this is like doesn't fit exactly into what this framework wants. So there are some levels of problem solving, right, and critical thinking that we need to do to get around these barriers. So I'm wondering if you have, I guess, your overall process to running into issues or problems that you need to solve, and then if you can bring up any examples, if you have any off the top of your head, of where you needed to do something like that in the past.
Oh, good question. Um, well, it depends, but I would well, like try to let me think about. Oh yeah, so we have this microservices architecture in the project I'm working on, and it lacked a lot of documentation. So I would rather just take a ticket, try to make it work. Um, and actually, I spent like a whole day, figuring things out. But after I try like around 1 hour understanding it, I jump to the documentation and take my time into reading it. And after like half an hour, actually, I was able to finally connect the missing
Mhm.
dots. So I would say that's my uh, debugging methodology. Try first, and if not, well, it is something that I know, but this project is kind of different. So
Mhm.
I had to really look into the details. So I
Hmm.
would say also recently asking ChatGPT can become a lot easier, but it depends on the tool. I'm not sure if ChatGPT has this admin bro tool in their this, let's say, database, but um,
Sure.
that's my workflow.
Awesome. Love it. That's great. That's a really great to hear. Okay, and then let's see. So, in your like past experience, right? So we do have a tight knit team here, right? And we work kind of interdepartmentally a lot of like cross communication between our different teams, our different departments, right? So there's a lot of ways to receive feedback and potential improvements ideas. So just like how do you handle receiving feedback, whether it's positive, negative? And then what is your process for like moving that up, the communication chain to make sure that you can bubble it up, act on it if needed, things like that.
Oh yeah, I actually like to receive feedback. Um, when receiving positive feedback, just like that's good. Just keep doing the work that I do. Just what I'm doing that. When I receive bad, it's like an opportunity to improve. But it depends. In my experience, I have to be careful on giving negative feedback to people.
Mm.
So, but when I receive it, I see okay, I didn't know that, so I just try to improve. But I it has been times that I had to ask even leadership, um, my leader, to give me feedback because I'm not sure if I'm doing better or doing worse. But um, I like to receive that, and I also give feedback to my um, coworkers, like in a like 1 to 5, like okay, you are doing communication like a 3 because you are not updating tickets, but there's a it is still a way of communication, updating tickets if you are, um, and it saves in the backlog. Those kind of little things like people usually don't know, but you have to tell them. Um,
Mm.
and and then
I was going to say a quick one on that, and I wonder how you feel about this. So one of the things that we've been putting in place here is I don't I don't want feedback. I don't want you to have to go looking for feedback. I want feedback to come to you, but I want feedback to be able to come to you in a metric. Like there's subjective feedback, like Eric, you can't yell at, you know, Eric. Like don't hit Eric in the neck when he doesn't put a ticket in, right? We can't. But what I want you to be able to see is like, hey Eric, you put a ticket in and it doesn't have an estimation on it. I don't want to have to look for that, and I don't want to have to tell you that. I want the system to look for that, and I want the system to tell you that. And so, one of the things that we've been experimenting with here on all of our teams is building in comprehensive metrics for certain things that are like non-negotiables. Like every ticket needs an estimation. Um, every ticket needs, and we'll get here, but an investment balance. So we know the work that we're doing, where does that work go to? Does that work go to new technology value? Like, is that a benefit to the customer? Or is that work that's going to like bug fixing? Because those are two different economics on a team. And when our CEO goes, hey guys, are we delivering value to our customer? We have to be able to quickly say yeah or no. And if we say yes, we need to be, have the metrics to prove it. And if we say no, we also need the metrics, but we also need a way to fix it. And so to that tune, it's great for us to be able to give each other feedback on a personal level. But I want us to agree to the system to be able to say, hey, here's the non-negotiables on our team, whether it's our commit methodology, whether it's our ticket hygiene, go do work. Right. I just wanted to throw that. So have you worked in a situation where or on a team where you had, have you heard of Dora metrics?
Torometrics, no.
Here, let me. So I would check out Dora, Dora, the Dora framework, Dora metrics. These are like mostly development. Excuse me, mostly DevOps metrics. They're based on like deployment frequency, mean time for changes, mean time to recovery, and change failure rate. Right. These are like the four main Dora metrics, and what Dora metrics has kind of open the Dora for, uh, are more metrics that we can kind of hold. We understand how our team is doing, and one of the metrics that I love, it isn't Dora, but it falls in there, is like how long does a PR take? Like if you put in a pull request, how long did it take for you to actually get somebody to pick that PR up? Are you waiting? And so these are the way we can look at metrics to look at our team and go, hey, not only are we doing well as a team, but our software is performing well. Our support for our software, like our CI/CD, is performing well. Like if there's a hot fix, we could roll back, make a change, and get that deployed lickety split. mean time to to mean time for failure change, and failure and like so
Mhm.
metrics really can help us as a team, I think, be able to quickly go, oh wow, I see where I'm doing bad.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, listen, Eric. I mean, we're running in like 10 minutes, so I want to give you the opportunity. Like, you have our, Eric and myself, managerial level. Maz is the team lead. Like, do you have any questions for us? And you want to pick our brain a little bit, in this job position?
Um, not really, but I am excited. About these metrics. In my second previous job, I started to measure my metrics like commit like, but when I communicated that to my leadership team, they got like upset, like you are doing our work. What? And I was not like
Mm.
that, but they never wanted to implement something like this. Maybe they are lazy, so I thought that they did want to measure their work. But well,
Mm.
I'm excited about this.
Mhm.
Nice,
Good.
nice,
Awesome.
awesome.
Miles, any more further questions that you have?
Yeah, I do have. From your CV, Eric, I checked earlier that you worked on Web3 projects and all of them. So you mostly worked on front end or back end, or you handle of both
Uh,
at same time?
about the Web3, do you mean the backend or can you repeat?
Yeah, the project on the project Web3
Oh,
or the other project.
oh yeah. So for Solana, I was interacting with the SDK they provide. I was integrating. I integrated the metrics page for the they call them the miners, but for Solana validators, those
Hmm.
people, um, like because when you want to get in, you want to know like how it is performing, if there's money or
Hmm.
not. So
Hmm.
I had to interact, but yeah, it is more like interacting with the SDK. On this project I'm working now, it is called Warrior Duck Foundation. I didn't implement that, but I had to uh, update some things about um, creating transaction. Like when you make a post, it is not a regular post. It has to go to the Web3. Um, so it goes through the series of I'm not really sure, but it goes through a series of things, like
Hmm.
just to validate that this is actually happening, and it takes some time. So the UI has to be very rich in the feedback, so the user doesn't does know what's going on. So
Sure, sure.
And from the front end perspective, your UI part, have you done any work on that?
yeah, a lot. Like mostly my work has been done on front end. That's where
Okay,
people like to put
that's
me on,
great.
and after that I usually get to the back end because I don't know, but my projects has been like more front end heavy rather than back end because they are have been already um, set up. So
Yeah, because on the rep management team, we mostly have the front end work. We do have back end, but little bit, but the front end work is more than back end on rep management team. So that's why I was asking that you are good with that.
mm-hmm.
Awesome. No,
Yeah, and I think it is clear, Garrett. If you have anything, you can ask.
no, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah, cool. So Eric, we'll open the channel. You've got email obviously for all of us. We gonna huddle up around this. I've got a couple more of these to do, but this week is a big week for us. We really need to start to zero in. Um, and let me get with Maz and Scott. I was hoping Scott, our other CTO, would be here today, but he got called away. I'll probably send out a few more questions, and then we'll figure out the next steps, which will probably be just another quick meeting with Scott, um, and we go from there. All right.
All
And then
right.
the
So
meet. In the meantime, just any questions or any thoughts you have, ask away.
All right, sure, awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, man. Have a great day. I appreciate you. And Miles and Garrett, thanks so much.
Yeah, no
All right.
problem. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah,
See you
Miles, Garrett,
guys. Have a
yeah,
nice
I'll
day.
be leaving you guys out offline.
Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
yeah.